Nordlow, Nordlow, Nordlow. Sometimes you don't always feel as secure as Wardlow, but you can with nordvpn.com/Fightful. Block online trackers, malware, annoying pop-up ads. Get access to subscription services that you wouldn't be able to at home because you can change your virtual location with just one click on all your devices at nordvpn.com/Fightful. In addition, we're going to give you 4 free months to nordvpn.com/Fightful on top of an already great deal. And if for some reason you don't like giving that Powerbomb Symphony to all those pop-up ads, to all those crazy prices, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Browse safely and securely when you're traveling. I've been doing a lot of that lately. When you're on that hotel, that airport Wi-Fi, make sure you're secure. nordvpn.com/Fightful.
Hello, friends. We're back again. It's Fightful.com, and I'm Joel Pearl, and I am joined by the AEW TNT champion, Wardlow. Wardlow, how you doing, man?
I am doing very well. Very much enjoying my time in Toronto.
Yeah, we were having a quick conversation earlier about your enjoyment in Toronto. I found out that you're quite the toy guy, and hoping that you're going to be able to see your toy somewhere in a Toys R Us in Canada sometime soon.
Yes. So I was able to make it to one Toys R Us because we do not have them anymore in the States, which is heartbreaking because growing up, Toys R Us was my favorite place in the entire world. And back when I was going, they had an entire aisle. I don't know if you guys remember.
Absolutely.
There was a whole aisle, and one side of it was WCW, one side was WWF. It was amazing. So that was actually the biggest AEW display I've ever seen in a store. But I'm coming back to Toronto to explore more Toys R Us's until I find me in a Toys R Us.
So young Wardlow's walking down the aisles at Toys R Us as a kid. What's the first toy that strikes you and you want to buy right away?
So I was always on a mad hunt for Jeff Hardy. And it was impossible to find a freaking Jeff Hardy. I will actually never forget the first time I saw my first Jeff Hardy figure. It was at a KB Toys, and it was their first, the Matt and Jeff, the very first, like the WrestleMania 2000, their first figures. Oh, okay. And I hid it in the back. I hid it behind everything, ran to my mom, and I was like, Mom, they have the Hardy Boys. I'm like, can I please have money to get it? She gave me the money. I ran back to the store, and there's like some older kids holding it, and I'm just standing there like, please put it down, please put it down. Thank God he set it back and got something else, and I grabbed it.
Not a bad way to get what you want. Hide it and hope for the best.
It was funny because his buddy was making fun of him. He's like, you're really going to buy wrestling action figures? Because they were a little older. And he was like, oh, fine, I won't. And then I grabbed it. He's like, see, you almost ruined that kid's day. I was like, yeah, thank you.
I went trick-or-treating at 13, so I kind of understand what's going on. 'Tis the season. So I want to ask you, in AEW, when you were having your build-up and your feud with MJF, you had to take those lashes from MJF. Mm-hmm. What was that like? What was it like taking lashes from MJF?
So to be 100% honest, I was really dreading that. Obviously, getting whipped with a belt, it's kind of hard to go in that thinking positively. But the adrenaline from the crowd is something you really can't explain until you've felt it. And when he smacked me that first time, and like in my head, I'm like, gosh, this is going to suck. And then he did it, and I was just like, that was it? And that smile on my face was genuine because it was me going, oh, this is easy. Keep them coming. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. Thank God for adrenaline.
I was going to say the next morning, welts, anything that you could see?
It wasn't. Yeah, I had some red marks, but
not as bad as maybe you expected?
Yeah, I guess I have some thick skin maybe.
Okay. So there's been a lot about your wardrobe lately. You are quite the fashionable individual. Meet and greets, people are noticing that you're dressed quite nicely. Who picks out the wardrobe for Wardlow?
The Wardlow wardrobe.
That's right.
That might have to be its own thing. I've always heard you dress for the job you want. So even on the indies, when I was making $5 to wrestle somewhere in a VFW, I always showed up looking as nice as I could. And you were taught that from Ric Flair, Yeah. So I kind of always have had that mentality, and obviously I like to stick out. And there's not many people that carry themselves or care about their looks the way I do, or the way I think wrestlers used to. I think it was very common for wrestlers to dress nicely. I don't know why that's gone away. But that's just who I am. I like to look good, feel good, dress the part. Like I want to be a superstar, so I'm going to dress like one.
So can I ask you, when you were being debuted, there were a bunch of vignettes in AEW, and there was a lot of you wearing a suit and walking around, in the parking garages and stuff like that. Was the idea to wear a suit? Was that you? Was that somebody else? Like what kind of made you make that play?
Oh, always me. That's who I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I dressed nice before AEW. I was just who I am. Today I am dressed very down. As we speak,
That's right.
As we speak about how nicely I'm always dressed, yes, today I am casual. Greektown is a little bit of a second home to me. So I'm having a very casual day, and this is actually a shirt that Channing sent me from a buddy that he has in Canada, that this is his clothing brand. So I felt it was appropriate.
And the brand's name is?
One Bone.
There you go.
So check them out.
Wonderful. Okay, so we'll continue on with the clothing stuff. What's your favorite accessory to wear with any of your favorite attires? So maybe it's a bracelet, or maybe it's a necklace, maybe it's a hair tie. I don't know.
Well, obviously I always have a hair tie in, but that's given.
Function and fashion?
I don't have any bracelets. I don't have any necklaces. I have one watch, and this watch was my graduation gift from my mother and my stepfather when I was 18 years old, and I've never had a different watch since. Maybe one day I'll treat myself to a Rolex. We'll see.
What about a fashion tip that you would give to, let's say, the art wrestling fan who is commonly wearing a black T-shirt, or, I mean, listen, I'm wearing a black button down, so I'm not much better. But we're both wearing black, for God's sake. What would you give as a fashion tip for anyone who's trying to maybe zhuzh up their style?
I'll say this, especially for the guys trying to break out in the business. Even if you can't afford the nicest clothes, that's fine. But when you show up to a wrestling show, or especially when you're doing extra work, just at least tuck your shirt in. Try to pick out something relatively, whatever you consider to be dressy. Everybody has different levels of what they consider to be. But just out of respect for the business, I love when I see young kids coming to do extra work, and they have, even if they don't have a full-blown three-piece suit, at least have some slacks or some khakis and a polo or a shirt tucked in. Like, just try.
This is my last question for you. You've been presented with the 1-800 Daddy shirts. You've seen the tweets. You've seen people from all across the world thirsting a little bit for Wardlow. How does it make you feel to be an international sex pot?
Oh my God. What more can a man ask for? I mean, realistically, that was one of my goals, was to get the female viewership. I am very welcoming to the idea of being a sex symbol, not only in wrestling, but in the entertainment business. Like, I've been told I look a certain way. I am a sexual being. I'm human, so I embrace it all. Call me War Daddy all you want.
That's all I got for you, man. You can catch AEW on TBS in the United States and Canada. It airs on TSN. The AEW TNT champion, Wardlow. Thank you for your time, my bud.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers. I'm at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.